Hi everyone, this is Real World Audio, and we are following up on the video about your tools that you need to build amplifiers, and I had recommendations on what kind of digital multimeter to get and the variac. And Lou and Frank had some great comments, and Lou's comment is really vital, and because he's pointing at the fact, why do you need a quality meter? And I have not told you that basically if you buy a cheap meter, most of the really cheap meters, they just go up to 300 volts, no more. And even if you have like a halfway decent meter that you use for solid state works, that you are used to working with for solid state amplifiers, there basically you don't go higher than 100 volts or so. So a 300 volt rating for you, if your regular day-to-day go practice is solid state, then it's already way too much and you don't even think about that. But when you start working with vacuum tubes, you really have to start working about high voltages. And one reason for that is that if you try to measure higher voltage than your meter can show, then you will most probably ruin your meter. And the other problem is even worse if you don't ruin your meter. And let's say your meter goes to 300 volt and actually you have 600 volts present, then it will still peak out at maybe 300 volts if it's not a digital meter. And you will think, or you might let to believe to think that you have only 300 volts while you have something potentially much higher and much more lethal than that. And Lou also made an important comment to make sure that AC rating and DC rating is very important to make a distinction between them. So meters have different ratings for AC and different ratings for DC, and make sure that both AC and DC you can read at least 600 volts on your meters. And if you have a fluke meter, the flukes, usually I think most of them, I have one which has only 600 volt DC capability, but most of them that you can buy currently, they have a 1000 volt capability, both for AC and DC. And as general practice, never use voltages higher than what your meter can measure. Always observe that critical rule. And Lou also confirms my experience with Hakko as a solder station, that it has truly exceptional reliability. I would like to add one little experience that I had with my Hakko, which I have been using now for 20 years, often at very high duty usage. And I'm still on my first iron with it, so it's extremely and beyond reliable. And I have to add that when it was new, or I would say I had it for less than 3 weeks, once I had an incident with it, I left it on for, I think it was at least 3 days. I left it out on my porch, on my lanai, and it was on for Friday evening, entire weekend, and on Monday I realized that the poor thing was left on. And I had to change the tip in it, but actually the tip was halfway usable after that, but about 60% of the tip's usable surface was destroyed because of the ordeal. But then I just decided to not use that diminished capacity tip, so I used the second one after that. And but neither the iron itself, neither the station was not damaged. So even such extreme overload did nothing to it, and as I say now, it's clocking 20 years of uninterrupted, really fantastic operation. And really, that was the only tip that I destroyed by not leaving by not observing proper working procedures. But all of the tips, as I'm cleaning them properly, I will show that practice how to do that, what I do. Basically, all my tips have lasted forever, and I did not need to change them. So that was quite an interesting experience, because when I bought the Hakko, I bought a bunch of replacement tips because of everyone's experience with Valors and other iron, that you need to have replacements ready when you need it. But I never needed them. Nevertheless, I have an assortment of different size tips, and I will share my experience about them, how to use, what to use. And now let's move on to our next point, which is the variac. And as Lou pointed it out very importantly, you have to observe the current rating on your variac, and because if your variac is rated, let's say, to 2 amps, you have to make sure that you are not trying to load it with heavier than 2 amps. So you are not trying to pull 4 amps out of a variac that's rated at 2 only. So go only for less than that. So here Lou, he has some big parallel 300B amps, and then they draw more current than that, and then he has or he also works on even bigger amps that draw even heavier current, and he has a 10 ampere variacs, so which can handle a 10 amp load. So these are just our suggestions. Lou's important points to note, and thank you, Lou, for pointing these things out, because these things are very important to observe, and that's why I am telling everyone that quality tools matter. And especially right now, if we are about to embark on building our first single-ended triode amplifier, and budget is also a question, so I'm going to make it for everyone to be a budget-friendly project. But please do not count your tools towards the price of your project. Count the tools separate, because they are going to be long-term investments for you. And I hope that if this is your first DIY project, first venture into building amplifiers, then I'm quite sure that this will not be your last. And do not despair, because when I was a beginner, I thought that I'm going to build 1 amp and that will be the all of it, and I won't ever need to use my tools again. And I was a little sad that I had to invest some money into the tools in the beginning. But that's not how it turned out. After that, of course, I wanted to modify my preamplifier. I wanted to change the phono stage, and you will just love it that you have, once you realize that you have power in your hand to change the sound towards the way you want it to change, it's absolutely limitless. So if you have great tools at your disposal, really those tools will turn you into a superhero. And if you do not have the right tools, then building an amplifier will be a very painful and very hard and cumbersome experience. And the tools are the ones which will make the difference between a very rocky road and smooth sailing. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll continue with a few more comments from Frank at the next episode, and then I will take you back into the land of the vacuum tubes and show you amplifiers and tubes. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.